Hey everyone, I'm Denise O'Malley, the founder of You Define Wellness, and welcome to another episode in our series called What to Expect When You Walk in Our Door. The reason why we're doing this series is because, going to a new practitioner could be a little intimidating, particularly if you're really not sure what that modality is all about, and we want to take some of that fear out of it. And so what I'm doing is I'm introducing you to some of the providers in the You Define Wellness Network and talk about what you can expect when you walk in their door. And today I am delighted to have Sharon Harvey Alexander with Mountain Wisdom Wholistic Health. Sharon, thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So why don't we start off by you saying, telling people watching this, what is it that you do?
Sure. I help people transform stress into joy so that they can bring their best self into everything they do and be exactly who they are meant to be. In the work that they do, in the relationships they're building, at home, out in community, wherever they might be. And in this way, heal anything that gets in the way of them bringing their best self forward.
I got to tell you, joy is my new favorite word. I've been hearing it a lot lately, and it's just really resonating with me. And you started off with that word, so I think it's pretty awesome. So you've got this wonderful practice that you are doing, and are you working with people out of your office in the Boulder, Colorado area, or is it, online? How do people work with you?
Yes, that's a great question. I do have a small office in downtown Boulder where I see individual clients. I also work online. I can do this like through a Zoom call or a Skype call or FaceTime. My superpower is to be able to really see into a person and help them collect the parts that make them who they are, bringing them into the whole. And I can do that face-to-face, live, or virtually. Yes.
Well, I love the fact that you can work with anyone, anywhere in the world, and so don't hold back from calling her when if you're not located in the Boulder area.
Yes.
So what would prompt someone to want to pick up the phone and call you?
Beautiful. The people that have been successful working with me and have been inspired to call me they are successful in the outer world. They have typically looked outside of themselves for validation and approval for a long time, and that has worked, but they realize that there's something missing. There's something more. There's maybe a message they're not hearing from what they may not know as their inner voice. Mm-hmm. And so they're coming to me for meditation practice, for creative movement to alleviate stress and strain in the physical body. They're coming to calm the mind or address tender emotions, knowing that there's something inside them, or open to the idea that they have the skills and abilities, they just maybe don't have the tools to tap into the wisdom within them that can help them navigate life even in tumultuous times.
So it sounds like they're a little antsy with things going on in their world, and they're just looking for some clarity and yes, a voice to help guide them through this whole process. So they're not typically in a huge crisis at the moment, or maybe they could be.
They could very well be and have not found a solution in the West with the Western medical model. The mm-hmm. tools that I work with have roots in ancient wisdom traditions, several different traditions. They are indeed supported, backed up, corroborated with modern neuroscience. But, they're maybe not in the toolbox of their primary care provider. Yes.
Ah, awesome. So what is the first way that they reach out to you? I'm going to right now share with everyone a page from your website. This is the contact us. So is this the primary way that they're going to reach out to you?
That is a great way to reach me. Okay. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So when you get that form, you'll have a conversation with the person. Is it like a 20 or 30-minute exploratory call to see if it's a fit for working together?
Yes, a discovery call is great. They can answer or they can ask any questions they have. I'm happy to answer them, and just to see if we're a good fit, to see, that fit is really, can I help them solve a problem? But more than that, it's a personality thing too, right? Does it feel right? Does she seem intelligent and skilled and able to, address my problem in different ways that could be helpful? Yeah.
So you're going to have that conversation and the individual says, you know what, Sharon, I really do want to work with you. What's the next step in your process?
Great. They can come in, or we could continue virtually via these different electronic means. I typically like to work with someone for a minimum of 5 visits.
Okay.
So the first of those 5 visits will be very heavy on intake. I have an intake form, lots of questions. I really get to know them, their background. How did they come to be where they are? If that's a physical condition or a mental, emotional, or even a spiritual condition or situation. So that first visit, heavy on intake, and if they want something right away to take home and implement, something that takes just a few minutes each day, ideally, I have those practices. I can tailor that to their specific needs. So that's visit 1. Takes maybe 75 minutes, somewhere between 60 and 90 minutes usually.
Okay.
And then the subsequent visits, I like to have a connection with them again in a week for visits 2 and 3, a week out. And then visits 4, we might push that out another week or so they can really use what we are working on, use the tools that I have given them, and see how that's working in their life. And then we tweak that, and visit 5, push that out maybe a few more weeks. So again, they have that time to test this kind of thing, come back in with questions, we can fine tune it, send them off at the end of the 5 visits for a longer period of time. Some people, that's all they need, and they can go off into their life. My goal is not to have someone dependent on me to create a regular, ongoing, over the course of a lifetime relationship, but to empower the individual to take these self-care tools, if you will, lifestyle modifications, incorporate them, and experience great change, experience relief or improvement in a situation or a condition. Several people do keep me on retainer or come back monthly for the first 3 months, quarterly then for the rest of the year, and then maybe once a year. So it is individual. And yeah, it's very much dependent on the situation and the person and their unique needs.
So it's very much not talk therapy type of what you're diving in and looking at it, creating an analysis of the situation and providing them with tools and resources. Obviously doing feedback is part of what you have to be engaging in as well.
Yes.
But it's not, hey, come and you're just going to talk it out.
Yes, I have had clients who that is exactly what they needed.
Okay.
They came thinking they wanted a meditation practice, or they wanted a guided visualization or guided relaxation, and yet they needed to be heard. They needed a place to sit down, to feel safe, to unload. And that, if I may, I'll share a quick story of a woman in her early 40s who had a uterine fibroid, a big cyst in the uterus that was not going away. The doctors wanted to surgically remove it. She had had some similar procedure 10 years prior, did not do well with the anesthesia, and was very frightened.
Oh, wow.
So she found me. I'm an Ayurvedic yoga therapist, so I can look at lifestyle from nature's point of view. And she came to me for guided relaxation primarily, but she really just needed to talk about the job, about her relationship, about her past, and also to understand what different practitioners were doing in terms of making recommendations for her health, which I have a background in that. And so we worked together for several months, not just the 5 visits, for about 3 months before I had to take some time off, and she lost her job, and also I advised her to take some time off. Long story short, she called me 2 weeks after a surgical procedure I had on my shoulder to say that she went in and the tumor had dissolved by 50%. The doctors said, keep doing what you're doing, and we do not do surgery. She was ecstatic, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I take credit for part of that, but it was the talking, the feeling safe, the being able to unload her burden. So it could be talk therapy. I can advise on movement, appropriate movement. Breathing is my specialty. Breathing to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, our ability to rest, to digest, to sleep well. So that's my specialty. The meditation, the mindfulness, the emotional tenderness, those are areas that I love to work with. Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So you empowered her, but you also, it was more than that. I love saying, calling it being the director of your own healthcare. You gave her the tools and the keys to become the director of her own healthcare, to
Absolutely.
take charge of the situation and not have to go underneath the knife, which
Absolutely.
is fantastic. And what I know about you is that this is not an isolated story. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of these.
Yes.
Yes, you have absolutely been able to help your clients. So I love the fact that it is not a ongoing commitment, because I think that's one of the big fears of people when they're starting to go into, they're thinking of the talk therapy. And I think that is a genuine fear that keeps people away from doing new things, is I don't know about this. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and they know that you're going to be guiding them to that process, and it's up to them to continue. That is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So at any point in the process, if somebody says, you know what, Sharon, this just isn't working for me.
Yeah.
You're enough of a professional. I know you're like, okay, and maybe even refer them to someone else.
Absolutely.
But you're also the opposite of that, which is if somebody says, I need you in my cabinet, in my on my board of directors to help guide me as we go forward, and come back to you time and time again.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, so what else do you want to share about your practice?
So I would say that to add a little bit more to the people that I work well with, or that see benefit from my work, are those who have that inkling that there is a voice inside of them, or a power, or this healing potential even, and they maybe aren't certain how to tap into that, and they're willing to spend a few minutes each day. It doesn't take much. The work that I give someone is small, is easy to add into your daily routine, your lifestyle already. But they're willing to do that. They are self-aware. As I mentioned, they've maybe been looking outside themselves for answers for some time, and they know that there's more. They don't know how to find that or cultivate that. So the angst, the anxiety, the self-doubt, those kinds of things, but there's a voice, there's something small that's saying, you've got this, you can do this. Yeah. And with my help and guidance, they move forward and they begin to thrive.
And that is exactly what everybody's looking for. So for those watching this video, I am sharing with you Sharon's website. You will see it is Mountain Wisdom Wholistic with a W, health.com. It will also be in the comments section on our YouTube channel. So wherever you have found this video, it's going to link you over to our YouTube channel. And I encourage you to go over to our website and explore it. And there's some great content information in there. And while you're at our YouTube channel, we have a couple of other videos where Sharon actually walks us through some of those breathing exercises. And I can tell you, I use them in my own life. And you probably didn't know that, huh, Sharon? I am.
Yay! Good job.
Yay! And it's become one of my favorite mantras to tell people, just breathe, but do it correctly while you're at it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I don't have any other questions for you. I think we've walked through the process. I think we've been able to successfully show this is not intimidating, and oh my gosh, this is someone that you absolutely want to work with. And if you're unsure as to whether or not this is what you need, send her a note through her website and have that dialogue and see if it's a fit, because that's the ultimate goal, is making sure it's a fit for both of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Sharon, that being said, thank you very much for doing this quick video. And for those of you watching, as I mentioned, jump over to our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search for you as in YOU, definewellness.com, or just go to our website as well, and you can find tons and tons of videos like this to help introduce you to other modalities and some of our fantastic practitioners. And that being said, we look forward to everyone joining us on another video soon.
Thank you, Denise.